Namaste, and welcome to yet another episode of CGI Talks, our episode 3. Now, let's admit the fact Indian classical art forms, to view it as a viewer, requires a level of understanding. And when you go to the next level, to learn an Indian classical art form would require you to have that level of dedication to the next level, so to say. Then the next level of that would be basically teaching this art form. That would require more sophistication, more knowledge, background from your side, and more inspiration to do that regularly, to impart that knowledge. We have seen a lot of personalities who have dedicated their life for not just doing, learning, but performing, but also teaching these art forms to a wider group. And today we are here to discuss with one personality who has been doing this in the Rhine-Main region and also a big part of Germany. For new students who are interested in learning Indian classical dance forms, predominantly Bharatanatyam, and that is none other than Mrs. Bharathi Avireddy, who is our guest for the day. So pretty glad to have her here.
Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, our pleasure. Ma'am, so a lot of people know you, and this for me basically would be reintroducing a person that is already known for the diaspora over here, but it gives me immense joy to have this conversation with you. So I understand it's a long journey for you, around 30 years in Germany and interacting with the diaspora over here. And I heard there is an interesting story behind your arrival date, an interesting fact, so to say. Do you want to explain about that and start off with that maybe?
Yeah, it's very simple. I was married to a German man, so I came in exactly on the 31st December evening with Air India. So that my day started with 1st of January 94. So now I'm celebrating 30 years in Germany.
Yeah, so that is an interesting aspect. So congratulations anyways on your 30 years. So this 30 years has a lot of experience. And we have 30 minutes as our time limit. Let's hope we can cover it in this 30 minutes of your 30 years experience. So basically starting off with your initial stints in Germany. So how was it at that time, and what was your background before? Which city were you based out in India before you reached over here?
I'm actually born and brought up in Vijayanagaram. Vijayanagaram is another district close to Visakhapatnam, and I did my degree and my dance, everything in that city. Later we moved to Visakhapatnam city, and then there I started working as a teacher first for small children. Then I switched to my job to the Taj Residency, Visakhapatnam, and there I met my ex-husband, German husband, and then I came here to Germany.
Okay. So around 93, yeah. Okay, so were you professionally working in any industry, or was it purely dance-based for your profile?
No, actually, dance I was not a professional in teaching or even in dancing, but it was always my passion, and I always liked it, and I liked to teach children. So, and I'm still doing it.
Okay.
So it's, I can say it is a profession made out of my passion.
Understood. So I think a lot may not know your profession. So you work in the hospitality industry is what I understood based on your profile. So that also is a long time period for you. So you were there in Vizag, and also after coming here you also continued.
In Vizag, in Taj, I have learned how to talk to customers and how to do the service and all, and later I came to Germany and I started working for a company which did services to Delta Airlines, later to United Airlines, all the passenger services like ticketing, like security checks, and helping passengers who need assistance, children traveling alone without parents. So all these things we did. So that's what I liked. That's how I got into this hospitality thing. And of course, for Indians, hospitality is something we have it in our genes.
That's true. So let's shift into the more business side of your experiences and coming over to Germany. So you have performance background right from the moment you reached here. So how has the whole audience for this changed over time? Now, I presume initially most of your audience must have been German, considering that Indian diaspora was just growing. So how has it changed over time? What are your views on that? Was it difficult to communicate the dance form at the initial phases?
No, actually, Germans are very fond of our Indian art, whether it is music or dance, South Indian, North Indian, and they have a lot of knowledge about it. So the first experiences here was my first concert was with when I went to see that's Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia ji playing flute, and in Darmstadt from the DIG, the big hall, 5,000 people, audience, and how much they respected the art. And then I saw Birju Maharaj ji dancing. They have given a standing ovation for half an hour, and then when they were clapping, he stopped them and he gave them a rhythm, and then they all started dancing on the clap.
Wow.
It was so beautiful. There is a lot of
so which year was that? That was also around 90s?
All in 90s.
Okay.
But after 2001 millennium year, I saw Pandit Ravi Shankar ji in Bonn in the football field.
Oh, okay.
It was like in football match only. The whole ground was full of people, and he played only for 45 minutes, and you could see the cars in the parking all over Europe. So there is always a big interest, big love, big devotion to our culture in German and in European audience. That's what motivated me in Germany to teach, to show our culture and to bring it much closer. So I have also German students, like one of my oldest students is two of them, Kirsten and Steffi. They are 20 years with me. So they have a lot of interest. Also, they learn it. If they like it, they will stick to it.
Understood.
Even the audience, they always
also
come to us.
Okay.
But they are selected people. You won't find them.
So ma'am, as a performer, did you also have to take that extra effort of conveying what is being performed? Did you also manage stages like that?
Yes. At the beginning, I did. They used to call in the 90s Ausländer Fest, and there when I danced, people they all came. The moment Indian music starts, they come and they watch us, and then they used to tell us what is that, what you're doing, what are you explaining, and then I also said, like in India, only few words like Krishna stole butter, and then the mother kissed him. So the German audience, one lady came and asked me, how can you treat him as a god when Krishna is stealing butter, when he's stealing something? And that made me to the thought of going deep into the explanation, give them the exact meaning, the spiritual meaning of all our stories, gods, goddesses, and their actions. And better one dance less, but for that you explain, because they are also not only intellectual people. Not only that, it is also very interesting for Indian audience, because they also come and say, we know what it is, but when you are explaining and you are dancing, we understand it better. Then I found that there is a bridge between the audience and the artist, which is the meaning of what we are doing. So that's better to explain.
That's interesting. So let's now focus on to the Indian community and how this has grown. Now, obviously, in 30 years, I'm pretty sure you must have seen the growing communities that is there. Now we have a lot of, if I look at the Rhineland region, every weekend I would say practically we have a lot of cultural programs and all. What are your views on this welcoming sign of a growing diaspora in the region? Like, was it very limited previously where you had to find a stage, but now you have a lot of stages? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that is true. Okay, in the beginning we were very few people, and there was one big organization called Bharathi. I'm happy they are starting again. So we had always August 15th, Republic Day, and also Diwali. And these are the main events for us, and they we used to all come and meet. And now the Indians, especially in this area, Rhine-Main area, we have lots of Indians, so we also need more people, more associations. Of course, it would be nice if we all come together and do the programs. I mean, every state likes to show and showcase their speciality, which is good. But at the same time, they should also introduce the cultures of the other states to the especially the second, third generations who don't know exactly what are the state cultures of our country. That would be nice. I would suggest all the communities to come together and to do something together, like we did in Indradhanush.
Yeah. That's a good vision. And talking about Indradhanush, there's also a similar question that I had. Like, along with the growing community, we'll also have new performers and growing performers. Now, obviously, artists would be in their own space when they are creative, right? So, do you think there is also a healthy competition with the growing performers when they come to this, for stages?
Yes, I am pretty sure in Frankfurt area, all artists are very nice and very communicative, and we can work with them easily. And they are also talented, very talented. So it is our duty as a senior artist to invite the youngsters and to bring them to the audience, because this is a parampara, it goes on, I cannot say how long will my parampara stay, as long as I do and as long as I live. So it has to go on, should not stop with me. So it should go on, and then the new artists should come and they should perform, because when I was new here, I was very much encouraged when Bharathi invited me, and the same feeling I would like to give the upcoming artists now, the junior artists or the very good artists who are just juniors or not known here, so they have to get introduced.
Yeah, I can vouch for that particular statement that Bharathi ma'am had mentioned, because I saw this myself in one of the Indradhanush stages, where we had a lot of artists to manage and also perform, so everybody wanted to perform. And I remember at that particular stage, Bharathi ma'am said, let them perform and I'll do the moderation, I'll introduce the artists, is what she said. So that I saw as a welcoming sign and a change in, how established performers can also introduce new people into the
because
stage.
We also want to be sometimes as audience and watch them dancing. We also enjoy that. And moreover, dance or music, anything, is one of our in the Hindu rituals. It is called Shodasropachara Puja, the 16 varieties of praying God. So dance is one of it, music is one of it. So there shouldn't be a competition, but there should be a devotion. So I am doing my puja, she is doing her puja, he is doing his puja. So it's exactly like you go today to Nagbhushni Amman temple, tomorrow you go to Pulia temple. So like that, how we go. So we should pray God through our art. Then there won't be any question about competition.
That's a very
because
nice
it is devotion. You're doing your puja. So God is also happy to take pujas from the others also, not always from me alone.
That's a very nice vision and wisdom, I would say, for the younger generation artists to learn. Let's come to the next phase of this, your teaching experience, right? How did you get inspired into the teaching aspect of this? Did it start early enough, or was it?
Yes, when I was 12, 13 years old only, I started teaching. Because when I went to my first guru in Vijayanagaram, she's Srimati Uma Sampath, she's right now living in Vijayanagaram. And she taught me the Bharatanatyam dance, and her husband, Sri Sampath Kumar sir, he taught me Kuchipudi, very basic things. And when I used to take my niece to the dance school. Actually, my job was only to bring her to the school, but then I got into the dance, which I really loved after that. And then whenever my teacher was not there in the class, so she used to give the seniors to do the teaching. And then when I did the teaching, and I'm also sometimes a little fanatic, till the girl doesn't understand, I like to make her understand in different ways. So it made me, that it is so nice, because once you see that when the girl understands what is that complicated thing and how you can get it's exactly like maths, and then when they understood and when they did the same, and then you could see them happy, happy faces, that encouraged me to do this teaching. So I always, like I said, side by, I always did the teaching, even children in India, small children, when I was 12, 13. Then later, after finishing my degree, I started teaching. I started working in a school as a teacher. Then again, I did the teaching, and then school days and all. And every time, I was happy to teach this dance. And even today, I'm still happy because I can skip anything like cinema, party, anything, but I will not skip my dance class.
Okay,
this is like exactly like how you do the puja for me. So I'm very happy to do this teaching. Teaching is something, when you are teaching also, you are a student.
Understood.
So every student is different, and then you learn how to teach this student, how to catch this fish,
Understood. So that is exactly my next question, so to say, your interaction with the students, because here's my understanding is Indian classical art forms are learned in today's couple of generations, I would say, in two forms. Either it comes from inspiration, or else it comes from compulsion. Where if parents didn't have the opportunity, they may ask, at least let my kids get the opportunity. So that becomes a compulsion. But sometimes some of these kids later on, they would build up an inspiration. So how easy it is to manage, two students between compulsion and inspiration, or what are your views on that? Is it something that should be taught as a compulsion, or?
No, compulsion to one extent, that they know our culture, that you're giving your child what is our culture. So it's like exactly like you give your child idli, dosa, or sambar. And if you never give, and after 18 suddenly you take to Indian restaurant, they will not like it. So it is our duty to give them the culture, and how they like it and how they will develop their interest later, it is up to them. But to make it interesting for them, like how you make it tasty for them. So you have to make it interesting for them. So of course, we should not come up with these ideas that they have to become a professional, they have to do an arangetram, or they have to go to these competitions in the TVs and all. So they become this Indian Idol or whatever. So if you don't keep these ideas, let the child learn, because it's exactly, it is a kind of spiritual development, mental development. So how they develop, if you take one child who is not good in maths, if you put them in engineering, they will never become engineer. So see what they like and how much they like, how much they are understanding. That is what important for me when I'm teaching a child. But I always tell the parents, let them learn. If they are not becoming a good dancer, at least they'll become a good audience.
Understood.
Because it is important. So when the audience is enjoying my dance, and when I'm able to make them enjoy the dance, then the rasa is introduced. That means the mood of the dance, the bhava is expressed, and then if I am dancing happy, then they feel happy. If I am dancing sad, then they feel sad. This should come. If the child or the audience doesn't understand what I'm doing, then there won't be a connection. So this connection should come. For that, let them learn. Without any expectation, let them learn. Like that, I let everyone learn, and by now I think I made like 15 girls who did their arangetra. And they are still with me, even after so many years, of 20 years, like I said. They are still coming and learning. Not only Germans, Indian girls also. I had them with 4 and 5, and today they are doing their abitur and all. So they are with me still. So they are free. Even program, when I get a program question, I ask them, are you interested or you have time to do? They say yes, they come and do. They say no, no problem.
No problem. I understand.
And no, they should do it out of their own will. That is my teaching.
Okay, understood. Another dynamics that I want to understand is, ma'am, also not just students but also the parents, right? Because again, managing the parent is also a challenge, is what I feel for if you're a teacher, right? Because some parents may be demanding, that why are you not teaching this, that, and all. Or some parents may just focus on one particular performance on stage. For others, it may be just still Arangetam and all. But there are also supportive parents, who would like to also help your cause and also support you. How do you kind of manage this kind of dynamics also with the parents?
Most of the times I have 99%, even 99.9, I have very good parents. They're very cooperative, they understand, they will even take the child home and make them practice. So I thank them all for their patience. And they also appreciate the way I am teaching.
Yeah.
And of course, when I'm like, if there is still today, I never had a mother or father who's coming and saying, I want my daughter like this and like this. No, only after certain time, like after learning 2-3 years, I will see how they are developing their interest, and how they are getting in touch with this thing, with the dance. Then I will focus on them more. And of course, the best girls get good chances on the stage in my programs, and the girls who are all good, they're all treated the same. They're all
Understood.
so no one feels like they are. But the interest actually comes once the girl is 10-11 years old.
Okay, understood.
Then I see, and sometimes, most of the times also, people step back, they will not come to the class anymore, but they enjoy learning it. And whenever they see me, they say, they come close to me, they talk to me, and so it is okay. There's no problem. We can't make everyone a dancer.
Understood. Yeah. So that was also a curiosity that I had, is, kids who are growing here may have a different form of knowledge management or gathering knowledge, because they may not be aware of the Guru Shishya relation we normally have in India, right? So do you actually observe a difference between the way kids abroad gather a dance form, the way they understand it compared to India?
True, because we only do it once in a week, 1.5 hours, and whereas in India you do 3-4 days in a week, or sometimes every day. So there is a difference. But since I teach in 3-4 days in a week, those who want to learn more, they join me in the other days. So those who want to learn, happy with the way they are learning now. So this choice I give the children. So there is no compulsion, and I want that their interest come by themselves. Like exactly, I tell the parents also, we have to first catch the fish. To get the fish in your net, you have to put something interesting for them. So give them, and that is also one thing what I am not doing the same like my senior teachers and gurus. That is taking anyone on the stage with a little shloka or a little dance, but I let them go on the stage and do, because generations have changed. In my childhood, until we learned one margam, we were not allowed to go on stage, but now it is changed. So they see, once they see what is this to dance on a stage, many times many children get more interested in it. So we have to change with the times. We are not doing anything wrong. They are not doing Arangetam. We are only doing anniversary day. So we adjusted there.
Good. Before we get into the final part of this, one final question is, for aspirant teachers who would like to teach this, are there different avenues here in Germany where it's not just teaching through a verein? Do they also have ability to go to other associations, German-based organizations like institutions, schools, etc.? And are there also possibilities like that?
Till now, I didn't see. Only those schools who would like to have us is this like belly dancing schools or like that. But in a German school or in a German music or dance school, they never asked
It's
us to
not.
come, or
Okay.
they maybe in the years ago used to do workshops, and I also did in Volkshochschule. They are they are happy if we offer. But by now, everyone understands that Indian dance, Bharatanatyam or any classical dance, is not a um, 10 hours course or so.
Like
You
ballet
have to,
dance.
you have to learn continuously.
Continuous one.
So now, at the most, they come and do a workshop with us, or they come and do 2-3 trial sessions, and then they say, okay, this is not for me.
Yeah.
So like that's why this is still not yet introduced in German school or German dance or music school. And unfortunately, I have to say the German government, Kulturamt and all, they give us a sponsorship. They are happy to support us, but still, in their system, our dance is not accepted as a classical dancer. So in the books, let's say. So, like for example, if I want to be a self-ständig freelancing dancer, and I want to go to a Kunstler Krankenkasse, they call it. If I go there, then they don't recognize Bharatanatyam as a
so this is a new
dance.
information for me.
So we have to work on that. I have this point somewhere in the back of my mind. Maybe now it is time that we should go and talk
I
to
think
them
that this is something that the general public also doesn't know, and this is an opportunity for us to also maybe start initiating that. Good. So let's come to the next part of this. Now, your next journey was as an organizer, right? So Varna maybe was something that you started with your partnership with others. So when did you reach that phase of starting to bring people inside, and what are the challenges that you face when you have to bring in artists and promote it now?
Varnam is actually, we got it in 2013. We got it registration, and it is called Varnam, Colors of the Classical Indian Culture. And why we named this as Varnam means, Varnam is a very important item for all the Bharatanatyam dancers and also all the Carnatic musicians. Both. So we want to say clearly to anyone that we only work with classical art of India. And why the colors of classical Indian culture? Because we have many different classical cultures, not only in music, dance, even poetry and sculptures, and this is all excellent cultures we have. So we want to put everything, showcase everything, and on one stage. And why we want to we want to work with the new upcoming dynamic artists, because we are, frankly speaking, we cannot reach the big artists. They are very expensive for us. I will not say they are expensive, but for us
it's hard to manage.
So it is financially it's not possible. So we think, but young artists are also equal. Like they are good. We call them in Indian in Sanskrit Navina and Pravina. So let's work with Navinas, because they are cooperative with us. We can happily work with them, and we also do workshops. We learn a lot with them, and this is our main idea, to start Varnam, to bring the new artists, and it's easy to bring them. And then they come, they using the new all these internets, they also get into touch with the other countries and other associations in Germany, and they make their own trade. So I only give them one small hand, and then they make it further. So it is very interesting to see, and it is it's a huge happiness for me to give them, and they are also very thankful for doing this. And we as Varnam, we also stay in their CV for Varnam. So they say it's a prestigious institution. So I feel good.
That's nice.
So it's a very nice thing.
This is another question that I had is managing artists. Now, It's a very interesting aspect as audience would see only artists on the stage, right? But as a performer and then as an organizer backstage, right? How easy it is to manage, because we've heard terms like artist tantrums, right? Where when a performer is focused only in their art form, for them it is only that creative space that they have. Maybe anything from the organizing aspect is something that is out of their thought process, right? And you being a performer yourself, how do you manage that? Any tips or any?
So the first preference I give to the artist is I tell them I need your program for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, then I will stick to that.
Okay.
I will never bring it less.
Okay,
And
understood.
for that, I always start the program on time. If I plan it 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, it has to fit in that frame. Because if any delay, then you have to cut the item of the artist.
Understood.
There I don't compromise.
Okay.
So when you give that importance to any artist, even a small child,
They will feel respected.
as an association, when you're doing a program, if you say it starts at 6 o'clock, maximum by 6:05 the girl has to go on stage and dance. Then they feel very good. They feel they are important. So they will cooperate with you.
Understood.
You have to give them that importance.
That respect. Yeah.
So there is no way I will compromise with their performance. First only I tell them this is 1.5 hours if there is in solo artist, 1.5 hours program with introducing, talking about the dance. That's then if you give them that space and then you stick to that, it is they are happy. They feel very good about it, and they will appreciate it. And in the meantime, I also got a good name in Frankfurt that Bharathi teacher is very punctual.
Okay.
Yeah. I always tell them I will not wait for the people who is still dressing up at home. I'm only thinking of the person who is there in the hall.
Performance. Yeah. It's a very valid point that you said. Like you also said that this is not just a limited learning; it's lifelong learning. And most of these artists and performers, and who not just professionals but who are doing also here, they've learned this art form almost half of their lifetime, right?
Yes.
And I sometimes feel that organizers should also be aware of that, and also provide that respect to them, that they may come for this 10 minutes, but their preparation happens like 4 hours before their whole.
Yeah. Whether we do one dance or 10 dances, the dressing up is the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So that respect is something that can always be given, as well understood. So final thoughts on your side, like you are still promoting the art forms, and do you think the community growing is also helpful for you? Because now with social media and all, getting audiences is also a challenge, is what I feel, for stages. How do you think promoting art forms has changed now in today's, particularly post-COVID also?
See, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, you do your work without any expectation. So, expecting audience and their happiness, or how many sitting in the hall, is not my thing. My job is only to do what I am supposed to do. So, I prepare, I do everything, like introduce, advertising, all these things I do, I prepare, I take my time to do the preparations and everything, and what comes out is job. Let him do his job. I will do my job.
Okay, so thank you, ma'am, once again for your message, because there's lots of wisdom that the diaspora had got through ma'am's message. And as I said, she has a full circle of experience, right from learning, taking her niece and learning from there, and then coming here and organizing and bringing big artists to promote the art form. So this is a lesson or a story for everyone to remember and also follow. So once again, thank you, ma'am, for your time.
Thank you too. I can also tell this to 30 hours or so, but I'm very happy that I made it fast.
Okay.
So I'm thankful to you, thankful to CG and his whole team for asking me to come here, giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.